Slide preparation. How you're going to do this work at home and prepare nice slides. So this is pretty much everything you need to know. Neat, classy, but simple. Easy to read font. At least size 22. This size here is 24. Okay, at least you need a size of 22. I'm saying that because some of you are not giving me a presentation there. You're giving me an eye exam. Okay, especially if you have math and you have tiny subscripts, make sure that people can see them. All right, so no distractive elements or backgrounds. So we had a presentation a few years before that it was this background here. So this was black. Now you cannot see it because of the lighting and everything. This was black. And it has this like psychedelic square around it. Is technical analysis a voodoo finance? I don't know, but I know that this is a voodoo slide for sure. So this guy kept going, and you cannot enjoy this presentation when you're sober, believe me. So this presentation kept going, and then he said, okay, that's too simple. Let's just take it as a notch up. So give me this one, which is like the entire paper in one slide, and I have to read all this stuff. Some of it is in red. It's nice to put in red something that is important, like this one, for example. But if half of the slide is red, then red loses its importance. It's just there to give me a headache. No graphics that attract attention. You want the attention to be on you, what you explain, because you will be the most powerful delivery for your topic. It's not the slides. The slides are there just to help the audience visualize things. You will be the one that you will explain the presentation. So do not have graphics that attract attention. Here is a very good case that we had a few years ago from a presentation. And he wanted to make the point that if you are unified, doesn't matter how strong is the other person, you still make the lion go away, which is a pretty good analogy for this paper. This was like a very nice graphic. The problem is that once he put this there, and he has like these tiny letters of presentation below, nobody was paying attention to the presentation anymore. So this was an accurate representation of what he wanted to say for one phrase, but for the rest of the presentation, you just have National Geographic on there. Okay, and you don't want that. You want your presentation to be on your topic and people understand that you have worked hard on this and that you deserve a better grade. Keep a relatively serious theme. No cuts, please. We had presentation more than once that one person just put a photo of her cat in every slide. And when we asked her why she did that, she said, because I think my topic is pretty boring and the only interesting thing is my cat, which is, first of all, it was not an interesting cat. It looked like pretty boring to me. Okay, and then you do not need to do that. Like your presentation is an academic presentation. It's not there, you're not there to give a show. You're there just to do your job, get out of there as fast as possible. All right, that should be the mentality. Keep a consistent design in every slide. Like as you can see, I have the same design in all my slides. Like this is in the same angle like the previous one. Everything is a common theme, and I follow this theme for the entire. I don't want to surprise you with the slides. Keep the information manageable. And the slides should not dictate the way that you will do the presentation. It will be the other way around. So you will have a basic plan for your presentation, and then you will make the slides so that the slides will serve this purpose. Your audience did not come there to read. So the information should be manageable, meaning that you cannot put a lot of information there. You have to select and abstract the information. This is something that that guy didn't really know. So this made not a very good impression to the committee. They said, okay, you clearly spend no time into preparing your speech, and this doesn't show a good signal. So do your best so you will be able to do a nice presentation. What is the order and how you should organize your information? So the slides must be in a narrative order. You do not want to be skipping or backtracking slides. It has happened to me, it happens like not in every year, in every session, 1 out of the 6 papers, we will have one presenter who will go in and say something, and then he will realize or she will realize that, oh yes, now in order for you to understand this, I have to show you the next slide. So they will skip to the next slide, then they will go back to the previous slide, and this is not going to show very well to the people that they are there. So have your information in a way that is a narrative order. Use tabulation. Tabulation will help you understand the structure of your information and will understand the audience also to understand the structure. So if you see this slide, for example, first of all, it doesn't have more than 20 words on there. This is enough for me since I have prepared and I know what I have to say. But also, the light blue squares seem that they are sub-squares to the dark blue squares. For fast presentations, panels are recommended. So you break slides into areas and you fit there different information. It allows for more information on the same screen. This is a very successful presentation that we have a year ago. This guy came in there and he gave like an amazing presentation. He had attended the same session last year. He has the different panels. And if you see, like this is a particular picture that I want to show you that everyone is looking at the slides as if, all right, this is something interesting and this is something that helps me understand what you're talking about. So he puts like different squares there that they say different things. Now, particular for Higher School of Economics presentations, because the rooms are small and everybody is going to sit close to the projector, you can have these, you can collect a lot of information in one slide, but make sure that you point to which part of the slide everybody has to look. This will make information still manageable, and again, you will be able to hold more information into the same slide. Some general advice that you need to know. Title your slides and label the information. If you have a table there, or if you have a graph, or if you have a panel, make sure that everybody understands what this panel is about. Okay, have in mind that when you prepare your presentation, you know the topic very well. Your eye doesn't even need to read it. You just look at it, you say, okay, that's my model assumptions. The audience will not know that. It's the first contact with your material. Just write there model assumptions or whatever this slide is about. So make sure that your audience understands where you are. Use keywords for fast recognition. Helps in presentation a lot. I follow that even in my teaching. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3 words. I can just glance at these words and I know what I have to talk about. I don't need to read the whole thing. So you have like fast optical recognition of words if they are in a different format than others. So prefer graphs or figures if you want to explain some complicated math. So you have one big equation and you want to do comparative statics there, and you have to say, okay, yeah, this goes up, and then this will go down, and the numerator will go up, the denominator will go down, but this part of the denominator is like that, and you're like, oh, come on, just do a graph and get it over with. So use titles, bold colors, and label your axes in your graphs. If you have a graph, people automatically are going to give it priority. They're going to see, okay, what this graph is about. Okay. The second thing that they do is that, okay, what does this graph represent? So they're going to look at what you measure in the axis. If you have no labels in the axis, guess what's going to happen? Question. And you don't want that. All right, so try to preempt this kind of questions. Be extra careful with citations. If you copy a graph from some other source, cite this graph. Say, I copied this from this textbook or from this paper. If you don't, you might have trouble. A few years ago, I had a student. She wrote a magnificent paper on contracts. She deserved a 10. One of the commission members noticed that she had not exactly a graph, it was a figure that showed an organogram about how the models work. We all knew where this was coming from, and she knew it also. She had cited it in the paper. Instead of getting a 10, she got a much lower grade. I think she got a 6 or a 5 because of that. Okay, be careful. See, you are warned. Be extra careful with citations. This was considered plagiarism. Okay, so be extra careful. There might be someone there who is not in his or her best day. Okay, be extra careful. That's why we have this talk, so you will be prepared for everything. Some pitfalls that they are very usual. Avoid light colors and non-standard fonts. Non-standard fonts because the machine, the computer that you will load your presentation might not recognize some of the fonts. So it's not the time to be extra creative. Avoid light colors. Like my students know about what is my opinion about the projectors that we have here. I mean, I express that to every chance that I get. This color here, there's a blue shadow here. I don't even know why I bother to find these graphics. Okay, so you can barely see it. If you have a line, a graph that shows this color, people will be like, sorry, I don't see it. Okay, and this has happened several times in the lectures and in presentations. Avoid non-standard animations and transitions. Be careful on application version compatibility in general.